Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And tonight we will be doing a special reading for a very special friend of mine who's asked a very important question. So let's get right down to it. I call upon Azazel. I call upon Adromelus. Come. Azazel, I invoke thee, come. Very hard to get comfortable. So what's coming to me is this. In every family, you have sheep. Sometimes there's a goat born and doesn't fit in. And it's one thing to not fit in, but it's another thing to not only know that you're not fit because you're not one of them, but also because you've grown beyond that. We've grown beyond the petty sphere of what these people who you know are close to you in relation. There's not a whole lot left for them to offer you. So unfortunately, you are going to be the one to blame because you are, I guess the way I'm seeing it is it sounds like in a lot of ways a scapegoat for basically the family to act as if you're the one that's breaking their heart, and it should be about the person who passed and not about them, and they're making it about them. So instead of allowing people, whether it's moms, sisters, uncles, friends of the family, whoever, to isolate and act like drama queens during this event, I would just, as you know you can definitely keep your cool, but don't allow too much. So what I'm going to say is these cards are going to let us know how far you should go and what would be considered too far, and as far as how you would deal with the way they're going to treat you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reveal the cards, then I'm going to do my analysis, then I'm going to come back and make another video and post it. But we will reveal the cards right now. And I'll give you my just sort of initial impression. Position 1. Position 2. Very telling. Yes. Position 3. I'm getting a lot of information. Oh, yes. Position 4. I don't know if I showed you position 4. Position 3. This is going to be position 5. Position 6. Position 7. Position 8. And end result, final position, a wonderful card to have in the final position. So I'm going to go on a first glance overview, and then I'm going to look up definitions and make sure that I'm spot on, and then see if anything else comes to mind. Then I will also draw a card or two from my Rider-Waite Mega Deck. Okay, so we look at position 1. It's a good position to be in. The ability to manufacture these pentacles, which represent money. But I think it also represents what you're capable of. So whatever you've been doing is they're just letting you know, keep doing what you're doing, because like a factory, you are pumping it out. You are creating those opportunities, and they're coming up more and more as you need them and when you need them. In position 2, we see the card of boredom, which is the 4 of Cups. I always pay attention to my numbers. So we have Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles. Now we have 4 of Cups. This cup represents someone who maybe has grown a little bored in the situation and wants to move on and is just pondering, what can I do? I'm not unhappy, but I'm also not exactly thrilled. And sometimes that can lead to a bit of other problems, like maybe perhaps feeling drained or feeling this overwhelming feeling of nonstop nagging, that you feel like somehow you were supposed to do something different, but the reality is you're okay. It's just everyone else that isn't. And if there is a reason there is that they aren't, it's for a good reason. So however they feel towards you, make no attempt to try to change how they feel. The only thing that's important is how you react to them. If they are disrespectful, acting childish, bringing them back to reality and reminding them, this is about a loved one. It's not about me. If you're going to make it about me, we're going to have a problem. So in this pondering phase, this might be just kind of something that's spoiling your fun, because other than this situation going on right now, it sounds like things are okay. In position 3, this is a card of rest. The rest before battle or after battle. The swords are in the ground. It's nice and peaceful. The swords are trying to penetrate, but they don't. Why? Because you're a person of confidence and power. So there's nothing that's going to be able to penetrate your aura unless you allow it. And what this is all about is about practicing calm in the storm. It's akin to someone that goes out in the lightning storm and tries to do advanced deep meditation with all the thunder and lightning going on. That's what it will be like. But this is probably more of the attitude of how you will handle it, that as swords are drawn, they'll instantly be put back to the earth. There's nothing for you to fear in way of being attacked. You're the one that needs to be feared. Very ironic that this card came up. See, when people judge us, the first thing we say is, how can you judge me when I know you, etc. Fill in the blank. So for example, if you're being judged by people who you know aren't good people, you're not going to accept their judgment. And perhaps they have not been able to swallow the fact that you're willing to walk away from someone who is loved for the benefit of growing spiritually, and just to not have bullshit going on in your life because you don't need it. You're at a point in your life where you don't have to have it in your life, and you're gonna sweep away this drama like someone would sweep away cobwebs off their porch. I don't know what they call the spiders that are in Holland, but it reminds me of when I was in Holland. I remember on every porch at night, there were these wolf-looking spiders, and these fucking spiders were big. They were like, I would say about that big, legs and all, and they were everywhere, and they would always be 4, 5, 6 of them, maybe around the porch lights. So we got the vacuum one day and we sucked them all up. But those little spiders can cause these webs that you inevitably walk into. And I see these people as like those little spiders that you see. It's kind of like you're everywhere, and I gotta look out for you, but inevitably you're just a little spider, and I can shoo you away. What it's all about when people judge us is we say to ourselves, I know you're judging me, so let me look at myself and see if you're a correct judge. Well, I looked at myself and I looked at what you said honestly, and I still think you're wrong. So you can judge me all you want, but I don't operate that way. And that's the problem, that I think maybe there's at least one person in this, I would say, relatively small group of people that somehow thinks it's their right. So a lot of problems arrive just from relatives in general, because they think that because they're a relative or close to you, that they have rights to you. The right to speak to you, the right to tell you what to do, the right. And if I know anything about you, you probably were the 100% opposite of that. But at the same time, not anywhere near what anyone would consider a bad person, just someone that walked their own path very strongly. And some family members can't handle that, especially if there's a competition between someone who maybe has a power trip, like, let's say, one of the siblings, and they somehow feel that they have rights beyond you because they're a sibling that's older than you. Those kinds of situations are hard, because what it comes down to is, do you respect their little tradition, or are you going to stand up and do what's right? Because a lot of times people invoke their family bloodline and tradition to get something. Whatever happened is definitely something that you needed to do. And this little get together, I think, will end up solving a lot of this, because again, if the focus is just to focus straight upon, we're here today for fill in the blank, you know who. If everyone focuses on that, if they can just do that for one fucking day, it'll be a wonderful day. But if they make it about them, then it's going to become personal and you will be on the defensive. So here's what I'm seeing. These two cards come up one after the other. And this card we see, it is a card of wands. It is someone who is basically coming out of a labyrinth of wands. Okay, and I'm going to rest my case on that one and go more towards this card that I think is more important. So this person that has the sword swinging over their face obviously is in danger, because I don't know if you can see that, but the sword is dangling from a line that is frayed. And basically it's just a juggling act. You could get yourself hurt if you're going to mess around by drawing your sword. That's kind of the impression I'm getting from that. It's funny that we have a Reaper here that wants to remove these specific wands, and in the sky you have a bird delivering a message. So this card is about receiving a message and basically continuing to work until you receive news of otherwise. And I don't know what that's related to, but that might mean something to you. This is the card of worry. Me and you both relate to this card recently for a lot of different reasons. This is going to be something that's going to cause you to face your fears. And how you face it and the attitude you have towards it means all the difference, because you can either say, okay, I'm going to go into this and I'm going to create a war, or I can go into this and I can make this a healing moment, but I have to be the one in control, and I have to shift this focus back onto the important person, which is the person who has passed. So this little monkey on your shoulder, you know, it really is just a matter of how you're going to handle it. But you know exactly how you're going to handle it. No matter how hard or how sharp their sword may be, that day will come and that day will go. And it's going to hurt and it's going to suck. And yes, there's going to be sorrow, but there's going to be, what I see, a much more positive outcome for everyone involved. And the reason I say that is I then see the Pentacles with 3 people working together. And each one is working on each other. Each one is contributing to the other, as if each one is a work of art and each one needs something help that they need help with. I love that card. It's the card of unity. And as you can see, you got a reverse pentacle on the bottom. It's really a card of teamwork. So this problem will be solved with the effort of 2 others. And final result, the 3 of Cups. This is a card of celebration. This is a card of rejoicing after a problem. It's kind of funny because it's almost like 3 similar characters, just in a different scene. Similar attitudes from each one. So I love this, because really what it's saying is that the other 2 will join in the festivity or whatever it is that's going to take place, a healing moment or a moment of peace after all the chaos. So I'm going to come back now to the 7 of Wands. The 7 of Wands, again, is, to me, I always think of it as a card of, just a card of confusion and not knowing exactly how to get out of something. It's as if she's exiting a maze of wands. And that unsurety of, you know, am I truly going to be able to get out of this? Am I going to be able to handle this? That unsure, it's the word I get when I pull a card. So when I pull a card, I'll get a word that I think summarizes it. And this is a very shaky, indecisive card. Someone that's in between and stuck in a cycle, going over and over, trying to figure a way out. And I feel like the number 7 represents the days of the week. So I think that this somehow has to be transpiring in the next week. That's all for now, and I hope that's helpful. I'm going to post another video in just a few with even more updates. Dark blessings.